Life is full of wonders, and we're here to bring you rare moments you've never imagined. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and let's dive into these magical moments together.
Number 9. Despite being commissioned in 1982, Polar Stern is still one of the most advanced icebreakers in its class. It was a flagship of the Alfred Wegener Institute and was built to hold polar and marine research facilities. In fact, between 1999 and 2001, Polar Stern was massively remodeled and overhauled to better equip it for scientific polar research. With the ability to operate in the packed ice zone, Polar Stern can break up ice as thick as 5 feet and withstand temperatures as low as -58 degrees Fahrenheit. Measuring over 380 feet in length, and with a top sailing speed of 5 knots when breaking through ice, Polar Stern is one of Germany's strongest vessels. On average, Polar Stern is operational 317 days in the year and covers over 50,000 nautical miles. Through research and supply runs, the ship is an integral part of the German Antarctic research programs. Number 8. Named after the 12th Prime Minister of Canada, Louis S. Saint Laurent is the largest icebreaker in the Canadian fleet. Classed as a heavy Arctic icebreaker, she serves a dual purpose of bringing supplies and aid to some of Canada's most rural communities and providing a strong presence in the polar region. The 393-foot-long vessel is a mighty giant in the freezing north, whose schedule typically consists of voyages to Canada's Arctic, where she carries out multidisciplinary scientific expeditions or supports the annual Arctic Sea Lift to transport military goods where needed. Since she was built in 1969, the ship has been through 35 refits, survived 2 massive fires, broke ground, rescued ships double her size, and offered aid to those living on the tundra of northern Canada. Her captain claims that this hasn't slowed her down, and she is likely to keep going for 15 more years. Number 7. Almirante Irizar is one of Argentina's largest Navy vessels. Named after Julian Irizar, the lieutenant of the Argentinian Navy, most of this ship's missions revolve around resupplying Antarctic outposts and transporting and rotating research personnel. Almirante Irizar's history is long and storied. Throughout the years, she has transported troops during the Falkland War, become a hospital ship, and taken on daring search and rescue missions. However, in 2007, that history almost abruptly ended when a catastrophic fire broke out on board. All crew members were evacuated, and the captain stayed on board alone for nearly 24 hours before being rescued. Having suffered considerable damage and losing the 2 $18 million Sea King helicopters, Almirante Irizar was deemed a total loss. However, the efforts to save her were ultimately successful. After 9 years docked in repairs, she was finally considered safe for the open seas. Unfortunately, the $1.9 million repair bill is a grim reminder of the effects of the 2007 fire. Number 6. USCGC Healy is the United States' largest icebreaker in its Coast Guard fleet. Built in New Orleans, Louisiana, the 420-foot icebreaker was launched on November 15, 1997. The Healy is used primarily as a scientific vessel and has over 4,200 square feet of research and laboratory space. It can burst through ice as thick as 4.5 feet and maintain 3-knot cruising speed thanks to the 4 diesel generators which can generate up to 35 megawatts of power. Unfortunately, in 2020, all Arctic operations had to stop after a fire broke out on the ship just off the coast of Seward, Alaska. This incident damaged critical propulsion systems, and crew members had to reroute to Seattle, Washington for repairs. Despite no reported injuries, Healy must now go under extensive repairs that involve cutting open the ship in order to remove the 106-ton engine inside. Number 5. Built as a successor to AGB 5002 Shirase, the AGB 5003 icebreaker was launched in April of 2008 in Maizuru, Japan. Costing over 37 billion yen and weighing in at over 12,500 tons, this is the 4th of the Shirase series of icebreakers. The 452-foot-long ship is powered by 4 diesel-electric motors, which can provide enough power to reach a top speed of 3 knots when breaking ice as thick as 5 feet in the frozen waters of the Antarctic. The Shirase has had an interesting life since her inclusion in the Japanese Defense Force. In 2013, an anti-whaling group claimed that the vessel was associated with whaling activities, a claim that was strenuously denied and had no evidence to back it up. Though cleared from the accusations, the ship's luck wouldn't last long, and tragedy would strike in 2014 when Shirase unexpectedly ran aground outside Antarctica. Though the outer hull was penetrated, the vessel avoided sinking and managed not to leak any fuel into the environment. This kept danger at bay and let Shirase live to sail another day. Number 4. The Yamal is the youngest of the Arktika series of Russian icebreakers, launched in October of 1992. It uses two OK-900A nuclear reactors to power it, and at a length of 486 feet, this kind of power is most definitely needed. Yamal was originally designed in the Soviet era, but by the time she was launched in October 1992, communism had already collapsed. Yamal and her sister ships are confined to operations in the Northern Hemisphere. This is because their reactors, shielded by steel, high-density concrete, and water, need cool water to function, but a trip to the south would mean crossing the equator, where this doesn't exist. Yamal helps to facilitate the growing trend for mass tourism in extreme areas, as she is one of the few vessels capable of getting to the North Pole and bringing tourists with it safely. Number 3. Operated by Rosatomflot, Vegach is the longest-serving icebreaker in the Russian Federation. Powered by a single KLT-40M nuclear reactor, it's capable of breaking ice up to 7 feet thick. Intended to have already been in retirement by now, in 2016, the vessel's nuclear reactor was studied and granted an extension from 175,000 working hours to 200,000 working hours. This added 5 long years to Vegach's lifetime, and in 2018, it earned a world record for the longest-serving nuclear-powered vessel in history. However, the history of Vegach hasn't always been a happy one. In 2011, a fire broke out inside the ship's living quarters, which ended up with 2 people being killed and a third injured due to smoke inhalation. Many were worried that the ship would leak radioactive material into the environment, much like her sister ship Taimyr had already done that very same year. However, the reactor was luckily not affected, and there was no radiation on board the ship. This was fortunate, as had it been affected, it would have been catastrophic to the ship and for the surrounding environment, which would have been polluted for years to come. Number 2. Russia's 50 Let Pobedi is the second largest icebreaker in the world. This gigantic vessel is 525 feet long and is powered by 2 OK-900A nuclear reactors. The ship's name translates to 50 years of victory, referring to the anniversary of the victory of the Soviet Union in World War II. The Victory has a unique feature which helps it break ice. Its spoon-shaped bow, as well as its huge size and weight, are capable of breaking ice up to 16 feet thick. Although the Victory is now used as a tourist vessel and has many luxurious features such as a bar and sauna among others, this wasn't why it was originally designed. Rather, the icebreaker was purpose-built to pilot the Russian scientific community and cargo ships to hard-to-reach areas in the Arctic and along the Northeast Passage. These days, the ship offers comfortable accommodation and gourmet cuisine for 128 passengers for just over $31,000 per trip. Number 1. The Arktika icebreaker represents a new dawn for icebreakers, as it is the lead ship in a new series of Russian vessels under which is known as Project 22220. The project will eventually see 5 new giant ships be launched, and these will surpass all icebreakers that have gone before them. On the 14th of November, Arktika left the port of Murmansk to officially become the largest icebreaker ever to enter service, having been launched 4 years earlier. Arktika was the first of 3 LK-60 icebreakers, which are dual-draught, wide-beam ships able to handle 9 feet of ice. They are each powered by 2 RITM-200 reactors of 175 megawatts each. With over 568 feet in length, the ship is undoubtedly the king of icebreakers until it's joined by its sibling Sibir, which is expected to enter operation in 2021 and Ural in 2022.
What if glaciers aren't just frozen, but ticking time bombs waiting to explode? As these ice giants shatter into the sea, leaving behind waves of destruction and beauty in equal measure. Brace yourselves today. We're witnessing glaciers literally break the ice, but in the most epic way possible. Hold on to your seats, or maybe even your snow boots, as we dive into some jaw-dropping glacier collapses that will make you rethink your next winter vacation. We're starting off in the Arctic, where a massive glacier is about to collapse. Look closely as flocks of birds take flight, sensing something big is coming. Then brace for the wave that follows, and there it goes. A massive wave crashes as the glacier hits the water.
That's a wave.
Yeah. The birds scatter, and the raw power of nature is impossible to ignore. Now we're in Argentina's Perito Moreno Glacier, 2013. A massive chunk of ice breaks off, and what do the spectators do? Cheer, of course, because watching a glacier crumble is totally something to celebrate, right?
Yes!
And there it goes, crashing into the water. The crowd's still cheering like it's a sports event. Classic. Next, we're in Iceland, where a glacier starts to collapse like dominoes, one by one. And the tourists on the shore? Yeah, they start to realize they might want to not be there, as the waves from the collapse race toward them. The waves crash into the shore with insane power, sending everyone running. Nature doesn't do gentle. In southern Patagonia, Chile, we've got a glacier that starts off slow. But then, watch this. It's like the Earth decides to reveal its secret. A huge chunk of ice flips over, exposing the deep blue beneath. The scale is jaw-dropping, and that color? Absolutely mesmerizing. It's like nature's version of a hidden treasure.
Like artillery.
In Kenai Fjords, Alaska, May 2010, it starts small with just some ice crumbling. Then, bam! A huge chunk falls, creating a massive wave. The tourists, as always, thinking they're on a calm ride, get a reality check as the water turns into ocean-like waves. Luckily, no accidents, but that picnic definitely got interesting. Glacier bridges are always a treat to watch, but when they're collapsing, it's like something straight out of a movie. That's exactly what happened here at Perito Moreno. A massive ice bridge starts to crumble, piece by piece, and then down it goes. The bridge couldn't hold on and collapsed in spectacular fashion. A jaw-dropping scene you wouldn't believe unless you saw it. This clip from Sawyer Glacier, Tracy Arm, is a reality check for anyone who thinks glacier collapses are just a fun spectacle. starts with tourists cheering as the ice falls, completely unaware of what's coming next. Suddenly, a massive chunk crashes like dominoes, sending debris and flying ice dangerously close to the tourists. A chilling reminder: glaciers don't play, and neither should we around them. In March 2016, Argentine Patagonia's Viedma Glacier put on a show with one of the largest calving events of the season. For over 2 hours, onlookers and tour guides watched in awe as massive chunks of ice broke away, a true spectacle of nature. This dramatic collapse is a stark reminder of how rapidly glaciers are retreating due to climate change. Impressive? Yes. Saddening? Absolutely. Greenland's Ilulissat ice fjord doesn't do small. Here, icebergs up to 3,000 feet tall break apart in jaw-dropping style. Watch as this behemoth collapses, slow at first, then all at once, the waves that follow are like mini tsunamis, shaking everything in sight. It's both incredible and a stark reminder of the shifting face of Greenland's glaciers. Back to Perito Moreno Glacier, where things get straight up sci-fi. Watch as a massive iceberg erupts from under the water, creating what's called an iceberg shooter. It's like a scene ripped from a blockbuster movie. The sheer force displaces water in a powerful jet, sending waves and splashes everywhere. It's nature's way of reminding us who's really in charge. No CGI required. And now for some next-level audacity, surfers riding a glacier-collapsed tsunami. As the ice crashes into the water, creating a massive wave, what's their first thought? Let's surf it. Seriously. Riding a wave of ice and chaos might look cool, but let's call it what it is: absolutely reckless. One wrong move, and they'd be part of the glacier's history, not the highlight reel. Some tourists at Iceland's Glacier Lagoon got more than they bargained for. They were mesmerized by a massive calving event, a truly jaw-dropping sight. But as the colossal ice chunk collapsed, it sent waves flooding the shore, and suddenly awe turned to panic. They ran for safety, still trying to process what they just witnessed. Nature sure knows how to make an exit. And for the finale, prepare to witness raw power at Columbia Glacier in Alaska, where a 200-foot tower of ice emerges from the depths like something out of a fantasy epic. This ice shooter is a jaw-dropping spectacle. The glacier's face cracks, releasing a massive chunk that plunges underwater, only to rocket back up with explosive force, towering over the ocean.
Holy! My God, look at that! Oh my!
It's a reminder of just how colossal and unpredictable glaciers really are.
Oh! Oh! Oh my God!
È pronto, passano? Quante passano? Vediamo a pace di andare almeno quando è 15? Mi passi il direttore per favore. E Roberta ancora si sta pigliando i Zodiac appunto, si è preso tutto.
Нет, он берегу 100 метров осталось, продолжайте. Метров осталось.
Det har aldri vært noe bredd i kjempa, ja.
Fan, det kan ikke faktisk omverden siden 1900. Fan, det har hatt skikkelig arbeiderklassefolk på en gang, men da ser du at det er litt helt
Jeg tror dette er keltiske blodet. Den som er underklasse nå, det er de som var keltere før. Og den som er overklasse, det er disse etterkommerne til normannerne. Disse sakserne er sånn det er egentlig tyskere.
The peaceful scene was broken by a terrifying thunderclap in the night. A haunting sound that made people tremble in fear. In the frozen land, the feeling of being lost in the vast space and cold, wild scenery makes us feel like we are sucked into another world. Absolute isolation and silence, Giant icebergs and gray skies create a majestic natural picture. Do you believe that this ice field was originally a lake? After just a few days, the water dried up, leaving the ice giants alone. Suddenly, a vast ocean turned into a mysterious icy world. In the midst of that vast space, there are still beauties that captivate us. Special scenes like videos of rare beauty.
Northerly 40, 45 maybe, and probably anywhere from 15 to 20 foot seas here. Here's a nice one. Whoa. Yeah. Hold on.
May 2010. Holgate, Calving, and Glacier. Giant icebergs suddenly melted and fell into the sea. Cracking sound echoed throughout the space.
That's gonna be big. Oh, wow. Oh, there's more coming down.
Yeah, I just turned my camera off. Didn't I turn it on?
I got it. Woo! Man.
That's awesome.
That's big. There's a shooter coming up.
Oh, there we go.
There's a big shooter.
Oh man, Scott asked you for a shooter. Look at that. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That went up like 300 feet in the air.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is huge. There comes another one.
Oh, look.
Gee, Scott, really. Talk about an e-ticket ride here, buddy.
That's good. I haven't seen a shooter like that since that big one I saw last year.
Holy cow.
We have it on video too. With Ron in the front.
Still video.
Yeah, right behind Ron.
Whoa.
It's still moving.
Still moving.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna be rolling over and breaking apart.
talking about landslides, it is impossible not to mention their twin brother avalanches. White snow rolled down like giant cotton balls falling from the sky. Instead of escaping, some people chose to sit back and enjoy the avalanche as a nature show. Truly the ultimate resort spirit. Wow, this slide is worth adding to the list of life's best moments. Avalanches can destroy everything. But when the snow settles, it creates a scene so beautiful that you want to lie down and take pictures. Have you ever experienced a storm at sea or witnessed its consequences? Please share your experiences below in the comment section. Sea storms are dangerous natural phenomena. But can humans minimize the damage caused by storms? This has truly been a bumpy ride. In contrast to the fury of the ocean waves, floating ice brings a terrifying calm and coldness. So enchanting. Under the influence of waves, winds, and ocean currents, these giant icebergs separate from glaciers or continental shelves, starting their adventurous journey across the ocean. Drift ice comes in an extremely diverse range of sizes, from small chunks the size of a car to giants with an area of kilometers. Their shapes are also very diverse, from square to sharp, or curved like works of natural art. When talking about ice, we cannot help but think of the Arctic, which is covered with a thick layer of ice all year round. This place is covered by a giant sheet of ice, on average 2 meters thick, and can be up to 4 meters thick in winter. TI will show you the Arctic part of the Earth where only snow can be seen. Its temperature is so low that the body will freeze completely. The natural improvement it brings is very pleasant. If you like this video, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Greenland's breathtaking landscapes are truly a fantasy world. If you have the chance, come here to experience a completely different world. Cute penguins in party mode! The Arctic Circle can scare some people, especially those who don't like the cold. In contrast to terrible disasters, nature also gives us miraculous and breathtaking things. These moments are precious gifts, like sparkling gems in the sea of life. We have a fat cloud that just fell to the ground. Is it because the cloud has eaten too much water vapor and now has to lose weight urgently? We were peacefully enjoying the scenery when suddenly a giant iceberg melted like a surprise party. The rumbling sound turned the previously peaceful atmosphere into chaos like an uninvited party. When the ice melts, the penguins are caught up in a game of hide and seek, with one stray making our hearts skip a beat. The sight of the northern lights can make you think you're watching a cosmic light show. The lights are as bright as a space disco party, only there's no DJ, only nature at work. Light shows from the northern lights are like a cosmic DJ playing at full capacity, turning the sky into an unbelievable light dance floor. And this is the largest snow mountain in Europe. But don't be fooled by its beauty. Behind the magnificence and power of the snow mountain is ferocity and uniqueness. This is not a wave of rage, but a wave of relaxation. What a great way to cool off and feel nature, right?